friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me.
What's up out there, friends and family? It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, coming again to bring you another edition of these Motivational Mondays. We are waging war on mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. You better believe that. I hope your week is off to a very successful start. For all of my replayers, if you would, give me about a minute to a minute and a half as I share this out to all my social media outlets. And for you all that's starting to join on also, if you would, be a blessing and please share this out to 10 or 15 people. Your top 5, you know what we say. If they can't grow with you, they can't go with you. So if you would, please share this out to your friends and family and say, meet me here tonight on this Motivational Monday. I'm about to share it out myself. And if anybody get these Motivational Mondays from me, just know that I value us. I value our relationship. I think we need to take this journey together. And there's so many of us that want more out of our life. And this is the information and the fuel that you need in order to get there. So I'm going to share this to a couple of more places. And then I'm going to get ready to ride out with a new bread-breaking Motivational Monday. And I'm coming to you from a discreet remote location. Had some other business I had to take care of today. Didn't have time to make it back home to get in the studio. But I didn't want to miss an opportunity to break bread because I don't know whose destiny, I don't know whose future is dependent on this bread breaking moment. And see, I'm that sensitive to know that, man, like I don't know where people are in their walk, their journey. Just like some of you all don't know where your neighbor or where people are in their walking journey. So my goal is just to show up and be a vessel that can be used at any given time. All right, you all, let's progress to this bread breaking. Hey, Angelique, thanks for joining us tonight. See Angelique out there. I don't know why I'm not seeing the comments on StreamYard, but I do have them up on my phone. So I'll be checking back and forth because I can't see I can't see comments on StreamYard right now. But let's go ahead and commence to this bread breaking. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, episode 154, Awaken Your I Am. Wow. What an exciting moment in time to be on this earth, man. If you're I challenge everybody to start seeing the good that you have on the inside of you and start seeing the value that you bring, not to just yourself, but to the people around you. We're going to break bread tonight for a brief moment, and I'm going to try to monitor the phone and the chat from my computer. So if I'm looking down and looking away and look unengaged, it's because I want to make sure that I get all your comments, live chat. I want to make sure that I get all your comments into this conversation. And again, if they can't grow with you, they can't go with you. Hey, Rajetta, thanks for joining us. What's up, Big Hump? At work, man. All good, bro. Long you catching these replays because we've been breaking some good bread, man. Tonight shall not be any different. I know you serving up some good bread too over there. Tonight shall not be any different. Tonight, for a brief moment, I want to talk to you about many habits. Many habits. All right. I started reading this book by Stephen Geist. And Stephen Geist, the name of the title of the book is Many Habits. And he's been talking about how to take a huge, complicated task and breaking it down into many habits. And I'm going to break bread into that just a little bit as we get through this conversation. What's up, O? Thank you for joining us tonight. As I have this conversation, we're going to get more into what Stephen Geist's definition of many habit is. But for a brief moment, I want to talk about what's a habit. A habit is something done so long that your body knows how to do it better than your mind. A habit is something that you've done so long that now your body unconsciously produces that same behavior. Motivational teacher. And tonight, for a brief moment, I want to talk about the construct of our lives and the behaviors that we've developed. I know there are a lot of people out there that see life as a journey of just responses to things that happen to their life, or they see their life as a bunch of scenarios of this happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me, this happened to me. And we talked about in the process of being external stimuli, that those things that happened to us were neither negative nor positive. It was just what we decided to do with those. Thank you, Angelique. Hey, Virginia, thanks for joining us. Angelique, thank you for sharing those names. We talked about everything that happened to us was just external stimuli. Is how we use that information, or how we use that situation, or how we use that scenario to fuel us on the inside. And I'm still continuing this external stimuli conversation. And we talked about, as we popped on last Thursday, that external stimuli is just what it is. It's all determined on how I emotionalize that external stimuli. What habit, what behaviors do I create when I encounter that emotional, or when I encounter that external stimuli? Remember, the behavior was only, or the situation was only for a day, but the traumatic response, or the trauma that it left on us, is what we carry every day in our lives. I'm going somewhere tonight. Just give me a moment. I'm going somewhere. I got to set this up, how we get to these habits, what we habitually do. So the external stimuli was only meant to reveal to us at this moment in this day of time how I would respond. Doesn't mean that I was meant to be that person that responded to the external stimuli in that way for the rest of my life, but it might just mean that there might be a version of me that can get beyond this situation, but it requires me to have to change how I saw the situation, how I view what happened to me. Yeah, we going somewhere tonight. It might be that I have to elevate and come up. What's up, Will? Thanks for joining us. It might be that I have to elevate what I think about myself and what I think about the situation in order for me to build a better decision, or in order for me, when I encounter it again, to be able to make a better choice. I'm going somewhere tonight. Just hang around. It's just a setup. It's just a setup. And so now, as we've encountered so much stimuli, we've decided to create images of what we are based on the external stimuli. The image of who I am today was formed based on the situations and circumstances that I encountered, positive or negative, until we learn how to hit a life hack. And that's why y'all listening to your boy, the motivational teacher, to hit that life hack. Until we hit that life hack, my life is a result of a bunch of circumstances and situations and how I responded in that moment of time, until I hit that life hack. And that's why you here with your boy. You got to hit that life hack. And so once I began to look at my life and see that the things that I went through were not necessarily meant to make me a failure or to keep me from reaching God's best, but the things that I went through were just to reveal a piece of me to me. I'm going somewhere tonight. Trust me on this. Oh, when I lost the house, when I lost the car, when I went through the divorce, when I lost a parent, it wasn't meant for me to be angry my whole life. It wasn't meant for me to be bitter my whole life. It wasn't meant for me to live a traumatic lifestyle my whole life. It was meant to reveal a part of me, the awakened I am. It was meant for the great I am to reveal a part of my awakened I am, in order for me to change whatever situation, wherever I am in life. Listen, man, what I do know, everything in life, got to get that knowledge. I love it, Angelique. Everything in life starts with you and it ends with you. Success starts with me and it ends with me. No such thing as failure, but missing the mark. It starts with me and it ends with me. There's no such thing as failure. I don't even call it failure. I don't call it failure. I call it missing the mark, because they all have fallen short of the glory of God. All of us have missed the mark. I look at it as an opportunity to, how do I get back up? How do I change? How do I grow? How do I improve from the situation that looked unfavorable to me? How do I move and how do I grow? So next time I encounter the exact same stimuli, I can make a different decision. Remember, me versus me. I love it. Angelique, I love it. Remember, the average human makes 250,000 decisions a week. The average human makes 250,000 decisions a week. Wait, motivational teacher. I can almost count my decisions. There's not that many. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you how you make those decisions with your unconscious mind. A habit is something done so long that your body knows how to do it better than your mind. Definition 1B. A habit is a redundant set of unconscious thoughts and emotions acquired through repetition. Motivational teacher, how did I learn that when somebody says something to me, I automatically just snap back at them? That's not something I grew up with, motivational teacher. That's not something my mom taught me. That's not something my dad taught me. How do I learn that automatically just snap back disposition in my life? You know how you learn it? It's a redundant set of unconscious thought and emotions acquired through repetition. You've done it so long that your body no longer needs your mind to perform that same action. Somebody better get in that chat box right there. Some of y'all been wondering why every time I get to this spot in my life, it doesn't seem to work out. Why? Because now you've gotten to a redundant set of unconscious thought and emotions that are acquired through repetition. And the reason why I cannot change my results in my life is because I have a redundant set of unconscious thought and emotions that have been acquired through repetition that my body no longer needs my mind to perform those behaviors. Oh my God, that's a bread-breaking moment. Every time I get to this point, it never works, or I want to give up smoking, but every time I get close, I end up going back. Why? Because your body has learned how to perform that behavior without your mind. Come on, y'all. Think back over your life. Think back over some of the emotional, irrational decisions that you made over your life. How much thought did you put into making those decisions? Come on, man. I'm breaking bread right now. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. What's up, Vince Mac? Thanks for hopping on here, bro. You come on, man. You better. I love it, Angela. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. You've made that decision so many times to defend yourself that now subconsciously, without fault, you snap and let people know exactly how you feel. Why, motivational teacher? Because it's a redundant set of unconscious thought and emotion acquired through repetition. And the bread breaker is here to let you know. Thanks, Will. The bread breaker is here to let you know that we can't life hack, we can't change that portion of who we are unless we're very intentional about our lives. We cannot change that redundant. When my body can make the decision without my mind, I now have to include my mind in order to change that behavior. You might have heard it somewhere like this. Somebody said, I'll take every thought captive. Why will I take every thought captive? Because now my body has learned a pattern of behavior where my mind is no longer necessary to perform. Oh my God, that's a bread-breaking moment. Some of us, what's up, Carrie? Thanks for joining us. Some of us have been rolling around in autopilot for so long that we're no longer conscious that we're making bad decisions. We're no longer conscious that maybe some of these decisions, of the 250,000 decisions I make a week, some of these decisions are not working in my behavior, but I've been making these decisions so long, I have no thought, I have no recollection, I have no pattern of behavior to be able to chase my decision making to. So I believe that my lot in my life is my lot in my life. That's a bread breaking moment. I believe that what I have right now is what God meant for me to have. I believe that I was only meant for this certain section of my life. I was only meant for this certain section of manifestation. I wasn't always meant to be healed. Everybody in my family got diabetes. I'm bound to have diabetes. Everybody in my family got cancer. I'm bound to have cancer. Everybody in my family is broke. I'm bound to be broke. People in my family can't maintain a marriage, so I'll never be able to maintain a marriage. So all are we doing? We're repeating these redundant behaviors, the redundant thoughts, these set of unconscious thoughts and emotions that we've acquired through repetition. And when I see diabetes, when I see divorce, I believe that it's a part of my future, because that's all that I've known. That's all that I've communicated to myself. That's all I've communicated to my external. So now life becomes a familiar past that can now become a predictable future. My familiar past now becomes my predictable future. And life is like a hamster on a wheel until you join in with the motivational teacher to the masses and start learning about these life hacks. Life now has become a merry-go-round. Life has now become this set of behaviors and actions that no longer require thought to drive you to the same manifestation day in and day out. Come on, Edwin, not anymore. To drive you to that same destination day in and day out. For people that just hopping on, like something wrong with the chat function with the computer, but I do have it up on my phone, so I still can see your comments. I know y'all probably can't see each other comments. I don't know. Can y'all see each other comments? That's a good question. But I can see it on my end. Vincent Mack said we got to make a change. We have to make that change, bro, because if I'm unwilling to make the change to see the manifestation that I want, if I'm unwilling to sacrifice these unconscious thoughts to now bring those thoughts into submission and create conscious thoughts, then my life, at the end of my life will be one big reel of whatever behaviors that I've learned to sustain through my unconscious thoughts. That's the funny thing about a lot of this is that most people, of those 250,000 decisions, what's up, Taylor? Thanks for joining us, bro. Of those 250,000 decisions that we're making per day, most people are making those strictly of body memory. When you've been through so many different things in your life, and you had so many different situations that you've seen, and you begin to compartmentalize in your life, and you start making these redundant set of unconscious thought, emotions, these behaviors through a redundant set of unconscious thought and emotions acquired through repetition, then our life starts looking the same. Like, you wonder why a person can stay in the same situation for 10 years. You wonder why a person can go through the same 12-step program and then have to go back through it year after year after year because of relapse, because they're only doing what their body knows. There has not been anything to change those habits. There has not been new information introduced. And so tonight, for a brief moment, all of that was the setup. I wanted to talk to you about Many Habits by Stephen Geist, the book that Stephen Geist wrote. But I had to get you to a place so you could see in how many minutes have I been on here? And I had to get you to a place in 18 minutes to help you see that our life is one big, honestly, man, if you have not had a life hack, our life is one big replay of past experience. Oh my God, that's the only way I can say it. Our life is one big replay of past experience. That's why it's so important that you begin to make these motivational Mondays. It's so important that you begin to find new sources of information in order to, I call it, so you can life hack that hamster wheel. Because most of us, and I'm going to say this, most of us make decisions from our past. The decisions that we made, well, I tried to lose weight 6 times and never worked. You know what? So this time I'm not going to really put a good foot forward. I tried to save money. It didn't work for me. Or you go tell your homeboys, or you go tell your girlfriends, hey, I'm about to try to save X amount of dollars. The first thing you try that last year and it didn't work for you. Well, you know what? You're right. And so now we begin to sacrifice our goals and our dreams and our destiny because of what this unconscious cycle of behavior is doing to us. Like, I'm not, I saw that they just changed the suicide prevention number to 3 digits, which I'm in 100% agreement with. So if people need help, they can dial pound, I think it's 848 or 888. they could dial the pound, whatever it is, and get the help that they need. I think that's needed more now than forever. But I think in order for us to really change this cycle of abuse, how we have to awaken our I am. The great I am has to awaken our I am to change this cycle of abuse. If you don't know you can have more, be more, and do more, why would you ever put forth the effort to do it? That's a bread 988. Thank you, Angelique. That's a bread breaking moment. Why would you ever put forth the effort if you don't believe that I can have, be, and do more? And I think that's the challenge with a lot of people, that they have a record of their past, and their life become a redundant or a rerun of that same life cycle of the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And there's no life hack to say, I can do something different the next 40 years. The reason why I'm telling you, if a person does not have hope, or if you do not have hope, people without hope, come on, man, they tend to abuse resources. People without hope. And the one, if you could do this for anybody, and I'm talking to everybody out here, if you could do one thing for a person, if you can inspire them and give them hope for a future, then you, in my mind, you've done God's work. If you can help meet a need and have a conversation and give somebody just a little piece of what you can see for them, because I believe that He gives all of us visions of grandeur. If we can have just a conversation with somebody about where you see them and what you see in them, to give them a little hope to fight for tomorrow, I believe we can change this world one person at a time. Angelique said we got to teach people they're worthy and they have purpose. You're worthy and you have purpose. It doesn't matter where you're sitting right now. It don't make a permanent decision. Don't make a permanent decision based on a temporary problem. All of these things around us are subject to change. I like it, Devon. We got to start changing that mindset. And so Stephen Geist wrote this book, and he talked about mini habits. And I've been reading the book, and I actually executed a mini habit this morning. My goal this morning was, I said, I'm going to set my alarm clock at 5:30. I was going to get up, and I was going to the gym, a brand new gym, close to where I am. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go. So I end up getting into town late last night. So I didn't get here last night. I was out at 10:30. And so, which means I didn't get to bed till after 12:30. And so I laid down with the intention of getting up. But when I woke up, I still felt tired. And then I hit the snooze button, and I woke back up again. I said, well, I'll only have 40 minutes at the gym. I won't be able to get my full hour and 20 minutes. So I had to start a new mini habit. And I said, Anthony, you will do the 40 minutes. Anthony, you would do the 40 minutes. And time passed because I didn't have my whole allotment of time. I would have just said, okay, since I missed half of it, I might as well miss the other half. But I had to make a life hack, and I had to practice a mini habit. What is a mini habit, motivational teacher? A mini habit is a very small positive behavior that you force yourself to do every day. A mini habit is a very small positive behavior that you force yourself to do every day. Think about it. Like, we're dreamers we're dreamers right here, and I'm checking my chat box. We're dreamers on here. We have lofty goals. We have colossal vision for our lives. We have an important purpose for our future. We have something that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. We know that we have total life prosperity, that we have money in the bank. We have purpose with our lives. We have meaningful relationships around us. We have spouses and kids that we love. We are big dreamers. The challenge with a lot of big dreamers is sometimes that the dream is so big that we can't break it down into bite-sized pieces. The dream can become so big that it's not manageable. And sometimes, I know I do, I said it yesterday on Bridging the Nations, that sometimes I know God is so big and His ways and His thoughts are so higher than our ways and our thoughts, is that sometimes it's easy to get frustrated with the process of becoming, because I have so much on the inside of me. I don't have the resources I need to get it out. Motivational teacher, how do I bring what I got in me on the outside of me? And I love this book by Stephen Geist because I think it offers a solution on how to manifest the within to without. Oh my God, I love that. The majority of people don't struggle with the vision or don't struggle with the purpose. Most people struggle on how to manifest it. And I think with this mini habit, a very small positive behavior that force you. What's up, Kennard? Thanks for hopping in here, bro. A very small behavior that you force yourself to do every day. Here's the reality of the thing. Here's the reality of our life. The reality of our life is that I don't have to have it perfect today. Man, I just released somebody. The reality of your life is you don't have to live perfect. You don't have to get it 100% right all the time. You don't have to have it all together. You're allowed to miss the mark. You're allowed not to get it. I just told you this morning, my alarm went off. I hit snooze and laid back down for 20 more minutes. It's all good because I didn't get it perfectly right this morning, but you know what I did? I got up. And for me, that's a small win. That's a small win. And I'm finding a way to celebrate that small win this morning. So no, release yourself from believing that you always have to have it perfectly. Release yourself from the thought that if I don't get it together, everything's going to burn. It will not. I promise you that David was a man after God's own heart. And if you know about David, David was not perfect by any stretch. David had multiple flaws. David had so many flaws that he could not build the temple. But nonetheless, God called David a man after his own heart. So release yourself from the idea or the notion that I must be perfect in order to accomplish the total will of God for my life or to walk in my purpose or in my gifts. Man, I just hit somebody up right there. Don't let perfection prevent progress. Come on, LeVar, say that again. Angelique, I don't have to have it perfect today. I got Taylor chiming in this conversation. We heating up. Come on, bro. I'm going somewhere today. Release yourself from the idea that I have to be perfect. I love that, LeVar, to make progress. Instead, look for ways to incorporate many habits, small positive behaviors that force yourself to do it every day. Right now, the goal may be to meditate. And you have a lofty goal right now of 20 minutes a day to meditate. And of the last 7 days, you've done it twice. Then maybe meditating 20 minutes a day needs to be broken down into a minute habit. Maybe instead of 20 minutes a day, maybe we do it 2 minutes a day. And we begin to build on the 2 minutes so we can start building success. See, here's the challenge with success. And I think this is the life hack that successful people have learned. Oh my God, I got to go here. That excellence is not a one-time thing. Excellence is an every time thing. We are what we habitually do. If you set a goal for yourself to meditate 20 minutes and you do it 2 out of 7 times a week, eventually you'll be doing it 0 out of 7 times a week. And you start to begin to build habits in your life that are unsustainable. And yet the unconscious mind start telling the conscious mind that we don't do anything we said we're going to do. So why make goals when we don't execute on any of the goals that we write in our lives? And so we talked about earlier how a habit is a redundant set of unconscious thoughts and emotions acquired through repetition. If you get in a habit of setting goals, or if you get in the habit of setting priorities that you never execute, you subconsciously, you become numb to the idea that I did not reach my goal. You somewhat believe because I said it, I'm not supposed to hit it. Therefore, life becomes, or not just life, that goal, which now bleeds into other areas of your life. That's why I said, man, I'm yet to believe. Hey, Mom, thanks for joining us. What's up, Big Cuz? What's up, Carl? I see you out there, bro. I'm yet to believe. I am going to say this. I am going to say this. A person that does not have thought incorporated in their daily decisions will be a person that live a life that will not carry much value after they've left earth. See, most of us, we're valuable while we're here on earth because we have so many friends, we have so many family members, we have everybody that we touch on a daily basis. To me, the question of worth is not what I do while I'm here, it's what I leave when I'm gone. Oh my God, that's a bread breaking moment. And a person that carries very little thought from their day to day will be a person that will not leave much thought after they've departed this earth. That's a bread breaking moment. I think that the true value in, I know I got some, come on, Vincent. I got some Bible people out there. I think the true value of what Jesus did was not when he was living. The true value of what he did was what was carried on past his death. Oh my God, that's a bread breaking moment. The true value of Tyler Perry Studios is not that it's shooting Marvel movies. The true value of Tyler Perry Studios is that it will speak to other African American, brown, beige, black kids after Tyler Perry's gone, that if Tyler can make more millionaires than Steven Spielberg, then maybe I have the opportunity to be able to make the same amount of millionaires. His story will speak past his departure date. The true value of your, oh my, y'all, I hope I'm not going too deep right now. I hope you all understand exactly what I'm saying. I'm not telling you to be disappointed and dismayed about how you live your life today. I'm not telling you, hey, I told you we all missed the mark. But the goal of this conversation is to see that my life is not just judged by the great I am on what I do while I'm alive, but it more so about what I leave behind me once I've departed the earth. One thing I love about this catalog of videos, God forbid, if I go be with the Lord, I got a catalog of videos that stays behind me that teaches the earth who I was. I was in the gym on Sunday with a bunch of kids. You all know I coach basketball. And I was just talking trash, talking about, during games, I did this, I did that. This person blocked my shot. And as I was sitting there, one of the people got their cell phone and looked up Vanderbilt basketball, and they found multiple games that I played in. And we were able to sit there for 20, 30 minutes and talk about some of the things I said I did, what they saw versus what I said I did do, and they didn't see it. But there was a catalog of what I did while I was playing basketball. I do believe that when we get to the pearly gates, there will be an account to where I have to give for my catalog. Lord, I said I did this. Depart from me. I didn't know you, because your motives, your ideas, your thoughts were all concerning you. I'm going to bake my bread, my little small piece of bread right here, and I'm going to die. I'm challenging you that in order to see, I'm not off my course. I promise you I'm coming back to many habits. But if we don't see the value of what I do on earth, I'll never see the correlation of needing to start to build life hack, many habits to get what's on the inside of me out. One big major habit, I want to quit smoking, is not going to happen overnight. Stop judging yourself and stop beating yourself up that you have not accomplished that goal. Or wanting to be a millionaire is not something that's going to happen overnight. So stop beating yourself up that you're not a millionaire right now. It's not going to happen overnight. Release yourself from the pressure of trying to make it happen, and let's start building these small positive behaviors that force yourself to do it every day. Small, big positive behaviors that force you to do something every day. Not a lot of it, but some of it. Motivational teacher, I want to lose weight. Then if I want to lose weight, I've decided that I'm going to cut 250 calories from my breakfast, and I'm going to cut out one Starbucks tea or one Starbucks cup of coffee with 400 calories. And in one decision, I cut out 650 calories without overriding my total life, without changing, I'm going to keto. I'm going to pescatarian. And you don't have to override everything that you've done in your life. It's finding that one small habit that you can do every day that will start to build more results in your life. Right now you have your alarm clock set for 8 o'clock, and you say, man, I gotta start getting up earlier. So instead of setting it for 8 o'clock, let's start setting it for 7:45. Even 7:50. Something to begin to move us back. And then you just gain another 10 minutes in your day. You gain another 10 minutes in your day. And then as you become more comfortable with getting up at 7:50, celebrate it and let's move it back to 7:45. Oh my God, this is a bread breaking moment. This is a bread breaking moment because we've always been told that we thought it had to be some huge, colossal change. And I'm telling you to start with something that you know you can accomplish every day, and your mind will succumb to the point that I am a winner. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. And you'll see that if you're setting 2 minutes aside to meditate, that 2 minutes will double to 6 or 7 minutes most days that week. But the key to all of this is just getting started. It is just getting started. We talked about yesterday on Bridge and the Nation, don't despise the days of small beginnings. Everything starts with a seed. Don't despise it. Everything starts with a seed. I got some people chiming into this conversation. Devon, somebody leaving a legacy in everything that we do. That should be our goal. That should be our dream. Angelique chimed this conversation. She said, that's right. Come on, man. We breaking bread. What are 3 elements of tiny habits? What are 3 elements of tiny habits? So in the book, he talked about, which I love, and I've heard this in several books, just not this book, is that if I'm struggling to incorporate a new mini habit in my life, he said we need to find an anchor moment. An anchor moment is something that we do every day. Like every day I'm going to wake up and brush my teeth. If I want to read one, if my new goal is to read more, maybe after I brush my teeth, I build me reading 1 page into my life after I brush my teeth. I know I'm going to brush my teeth, and now I anchor that new decision with brushing my teeth, which I know I'm going to do. For example, I know that when I wake up, not me, but I'm going to make a cup of coffee. Maybe when I hit start for my coffee to make, I decide, hey, I want to meditate more. Maybe for the first 2 minutes of the coffee pot, or to the first cup of coffee comes out, maybe I create something that I'm going to do there that's useful. Well, it's not enough minutes. I want to work out. Maybe it's that before I set my clock back 10 minutes, I'm getting up at 7:50 now instead of 8. Maybe I take that 10 minutes, and all I do in that 10 minutes is I do jumping jacks, or maybe I run in place, or maybe I just turn side to side and I twist and I get some core movement. And maybe that's what I need to start my new behavior. Or I need to walk more. Okay, I know I walk out to my car every morning. So maybe what I'll do, instead of just walking to my car this morning, maybe I'll walk to the mailbox and then come back and get in my car. And I just multiplied my amount of walking by 1 day. It's small, intentional, positive behaviors that you could do every day. Maybe I walk 2 car lengths past my car and I come back to my car every day. And by the end of the week, I made 400, 500 more steps by anchoring that new behavior with the moment. Come on, man. That's good stuff right there. Start at an anchor moment. Thanks, Mom. Devon said, I used to smoke. God helped me with my smoking. I made a step to start smoking. It takes time. And you know what? I love the fact that what the great I am's expectation of you is, he said, we lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. There's nothing wrong with taking these mini habits and improving your life, because what I do know about doing it this route is that you'll be able to have a lot of conversations with people about how to overcome that same problem when they have it. This is when I learned how to fall in love with the process. I spoke maybe 2 months ago, and I told this story before. They had the top basketball players in the country, 8th grade through 12th grade from all around the world. They flew them in for an all-star game. I was that guest speaker. And I told a story about my dad being in prison, my dad dying in prison, and how I forgave my dad because my dad outperformed his dad. So I have no hatred in my heart for my dad. And I finished that talk, and I talked for about 45 minutes. And this kid from South Carolina, one of the top basketball players in the country, he came up to me and said, "Man, how did you get over your dad not being at your games? How did you get over not having your dad there, knowing that he had a lot of the knowledge that you needed to be successful?" And he said, "My dad is getting out of jail in 2 months, and I'm trying to see if I want a relationship with him." His dad was in there for doing similar things that my dad did, and he's heard all the stories about his dad in the community and from family members. So he was trying to determine whether he needed a relationship or whether he wanted a relationship with his father. And it was at that moment I started to realize that what I went through with my dad just wasn't for me. But it was also for that young man, I'm not going to call his name out, also for the young man that I met during that basketball tournament. And I proceeded to tell him that it's his choice to get to know his father and not to live based on the ideas and the theories that you've heard from people in the community. I said, we don't know how people change. It's up to you to decide whether to give him an opportunity. And we talked for about 15 minutes. The young man had tears going down his eyes, and by the end, he gave me which is uncommon in this environment, is to give a hug. The young guy hugged me, and he said I helped him so much with making that decision. And so I realized that when I was 18, 17, 16, 19, 20, so my dad died when I was 22, that what I went through wasn't necessarily for me, but it was also for that young man that I encountered at that speaking event. But what if I had gone through my life with no thought into that situation? What if I had gone through my life bitter and not better? What if I had gone through my life listening to what people had told me about my father, and I projected that same story and conversation on to that little man, to that little boy? How much more would I impacted his life for the negative? And if we don't begin to find and see our lives, we are more than just circumstances and situation, and that we can begin to change the course of our lives. But it's going to require some many habits. It's going to require some many habits. And the more, hey, Marianne, thanks for joining us. And the more that we're conscious and we're deliberate about, and we're not wrong word, the more we're engaged with our own life, the better decisions we're able to make, and obviously the better records we'll have. So when it comes time to break that generational curse, man, you have a record of how to tear down poverty, or you have a record on how to destroy whatever that curse is. So what are the three elements? Number one, I need to find an anchor moment. Number two, I need to make the behavior small. I need to make the behavior many. I don't need to start creating a behavior that's going to stretch me so big that there's no chance that I can execute. That I don't need a behavior that's so big that there's no chance that I can hold myself accountable. Remember, we're changing the way our brain thinks. A habit is something done so long that your body knows how to do it better than your mind. We're trying to get in a space that when I say I'm going to do something, that I do it so much that now my body can do it without my mind. Like if we built negative habits that way, we can now turn that same knowledge over and start to build positive habits in that same way. But we got to start with something that's manageable. I can't say, hey, I got $72 in the bank and I want to be a millionaire in 6 weeks. How sustainable is that? Like what plan, what executionable plan can you make in order to make you a 100,000 or a millionaire in 6 months when you got $72 in the bank? And see, I think that's where there's a disconnect because God can do it. He can do it. But my question, we know he can do it, but can he do it through you? Not with the lack of being able to execute on the small thing. Don't despise the small beginnings because thereof the end can be great. But we've taken all the opportunities to save $5 and $10 here. Hey, Lori, thanks for joining us to save $5 and $10 here and there. We've negated all those opportunities to save those, invest those, to put them toward the ultimate goal because it's not $100,000. And what $100,000 is a bunch of opportunities to take 5 and 10 and $100 and to put it toward that ultimate goal. That's a bread-breaking moment right there. That is a bread-breaking moment right there. We've taken so many opportunities to get to 100,000, but because it's not 50, 60, $70,000 at a time, we thought, just take this $10. It's not enough anyway. Let me just go ahead and get me some Starbucks. Let me just go ahead and get this, add this, and go ahead and get this Gucci. It's not enough to do what I need to do anyway. I told you, everything starts with a seed. If it's not enough to accomplish the goal, then it's a seed. And how we manage that seed determines our ultimate success. It determines it. I got people chiming into this conversation. LeVar said, God has purpose in everything we encounter. No doubt. My mom said, make the behavior small. If you have the faith of a mustard seed, I love it. I love it. Angelique, clapping hands. The 3 elements of many habits. Number 1, find an anchor moment. Number 2, make the behavior many. Something that I can do every day and start creating a new mindset that I get things done. And number 3, celebrate instantly. Celebrate instantly. Man, like pat yourself on the chest. This is what I do know. That if you don't celebrate you, not many other people. What's up, Coach T? Not many other people are going to celebrate you. When you begin to break these barriers, when you begin to tear down this negative construct that's over your life, when you begin to make these decisions now in line with your destiny and not with your history, we now need to start celebrating those small wins. Because this is what I do know. For a long time, I was one that did not celebrate small wins. And I got so enamored in the process that I negated opportunities to celebrate those wins. And when you do that, you tend to get burned out. But when you take a moment to say, man, that's awesome. Like I started 6 months ago with $250, and now I'm up to $475. Man, you should pat yourself on the back that obviously my behaviors are improving. I used to smoke 7 cigarettes a day. I'm down to 3 cigarettes a day. 6 months later, you need to celebrate yourself, because if you do the math, that's 4 cigarettes a day times 7 days times 30 days times 6 months. Like, what have you done for your life? I used to eat. Coach T has lost over 100 pounds. Like I used to eat 2,500 calories a day. Now I'm down to 1,800, and I've lost 4 pounds within the last month and a half. You need to celebrate that. You need to sit back and say, wow, like I'm building behaviors to take me where I want to go. And as we begin to build these many behaviors, or we start to build these many habits, you'll see these many habits spill over to other areas of your life. I remember when I was, I remember exactly when it was, about 2018. And my wife said, like, she said, I don't think you give me enough attention. I don't think you celebrate me enough. So what I did was I put a rubber band on my wrist. And every time I saw that rubber band, I would text her. I would be conscious. I'd text her, hey, I love you. Or I would say, hey, I miss you. Can't wait till I get home to see you. And I would start just texting her throughout moments of the day. That I incorporated that behavior with an anchor moment. I incorporated that behavior with an anchor moment. And then that's the key to changing your life. One notch, one brick, one moment at a time. I promise you, the results that we have in our lives at this point are strictly based on our own personal behaviors. I ought to get a t-shirt made. I am my own problem. And on the back, I am my own solution. I love it. That if you can be the genesis of a problem, then you hold the revelation of that same problem in your same hands. But the challenge is, how do I begin to plant the right seed so I can get the right manifestation? Thank you, Devon. You're absolutely right. I know the chat function has been down tonight and it hadn't worked properly. Um, hey, Vaniqua, glad to see you hopping on here. Said you were a little late. All good. One thing I do know about Vaniqua, she's going to go back and catch all 50 minutes of this replay. But I did for a brief moment tonight. I just wanted to come in and speak to you about how to get the vision and the manifestation that you have on the inside of you to the outside. And one way to do it is to start creating those many habits. And a lot of time where we miss the mark, it doesn't mean that we're inadequate. It doesn't mean that we're not capable. It doesn't mean that we lack execution. It might mean that I might need to incorporate just a little bit more of something that I lacked in this go around. Doesn't mean that I was meant to be a failure. Doesn't mean I'm meant to be called a failure. Doesn't mean that I can't get it done next time. It just means that I need to take my thought, incorporate more thought, and begin to incorporate new behaviors in order to get to that other side. Got people chiming into this conversation. Our story is in our hands. I love it this way. You are the author and finisher of your own story. And I know the great I am say I'm the author and finisher of your faith. But you are the author and finisher of your own story. My mom said, I am my own problem. I am my own solution. Angelique, thank you for showing up tonight, Brother King. I celebrate you. Thank you, Angelique. And I appreciate you always showing up and being a contributing member to this society. And I believe we are a group of people waging war on mediocrity. If you all received anything from this Motivational Monday, I've seen several comments. Please, by all means, go get in that chat box and start creating new mini habits for yourself. If you're going to change and start a new mini habit, hold yourself accountable by putting it in the chat box. I am going to not drink coffee Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or I am not going to do XYZ. I'm going to get up 3 minutes or 5 minutes earlier. I'm going to start creating these mini habits. And maybe we hold ourselves accountable through the chat. And maybe we go to the same chat and say, hey, hashtag accomplish my goal, accomplish my mini habit. Hashtag did what I said I was going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to get off this Motivational Monday, but I will say that greatness is going to require that you're physically and you're mentally engaged the majority of your day. It's going to require that. For you to accomplish your goals and your dreams, greatness requires that you show up for yourself. Man, I appreciate you all for chiming into this conversation. Angelique said, I got to think of one, but I'll post it. Coach T said, I love the rubber band idea. Got to use it. So yeah, Coach T, at that time I was a sales rep. And so I had these big brochures and samples and stuff that I had to take in offices. And every office I go in, I had to take a rubber band off some of the equipment or the packets that were being held together by the rubber bands. When I took the rubber band off, I put it on my wrist and I just text, hey, love you, something just to answer the call. And I anchored that because every day, that was before I really knew what I was doing. Every day I knew I was going to take at least 8-10 rubber bands off and leave something in the office. So it allowed me to be able to anchor that behavior in the rubber band, which I knew I was going to be doing. It's a really good idea. If you have not done it, I challenge you to do it because you'll find yourself changing your behavior and you'll get to the point where I don't even know where it completely changed, but now you do it subconsciously. I don't even have to think about now to do it now. It just happens subconsciously. And that's the place we want to get to with our good habits, where we do it subconsciously. And when we get there, now we're cooking with fish grease when we get to that place. But it takes time. It takes intentionality. It takes many habits to get to the one big habit of doing those things. Hey, man, y'all have been phenomenal tonight. Thank y'all for chiming into this conversation. And as I say always, you all elevate this conversation. I really do appreciate having you all here. And I love the consistency that I'm seeing from this group of people. And I'm telling you, I think there's a special place in heaven for people that believe and have not seen. Like in my mind, like we're lifting as we climb. Like I have not nowhere near maxed out my potential, maxed out my gift or my calling. But I'm fortunate, and I believe that you all see enough to keep showing up. And man, blessed to y'all that show up that have not seen, but know that is loading. And I challenge you to be the same way about your show up for you. Weekly, daily, hourly, minutely, show up for you. And understand, celebrate yourself. Because you might not be where you want to be, but thank God you're not where you used to be. Celebrate yourself. Y'all, and until next time, I am challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me.